One more time. Do you want to be in the inner circle?
Do you want me to be in the inner circle, Chris?
All right, you know what? You know who the biggest jackass is in AEW?
I know who the biggest jackass in AEW
oh, yeah?
is.
Do you want to know?
Right now.
I'm going to say it. Do you want to know who the biggest jackass is? I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it.
How's it going, everybody? Murjani Rawls here, and I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Welcome back, everybody, to the War Report. We are post Full Gear here, our first AEW pay-per-view. Cyrus, how you feeling on this Thursday night?
I'm tired, man. But it's been a week for pro wrestling, so I'm all good for the most part.
Week's been going good so far?
Yeah. So far, got all my schoolwork done, so I can make time for like all the wrestling stuff that happens on Wednesdays, since I mainly have classes on Monday, and then I try to do all my schoolwork on Tuesday, and then try to make enough time to like watch AEW and NXT Wednesday uninterrupted, and then do this the following day.
Yes, we are very dedicated here. Just in case you don't know already, I'm your co-host Murjani Rawls, and that is Cyrus. Interesting thing, I had a wedding to go to day after Full Gear, so I was kind of like getting ready for that, and like watching the pay-per-view. I'm sure we got a whole plethora of AEW stuff to go through.
I heard you catching bouquets at the wedding, man.
Oh yeah, okay. So I caught the garter. I caught the garter at the wedding, and if you go by what tradition is, I guess I'm the next one to get married. So Cyrus,
popping big bottles, baby.
So I guess Cyrus and I guess the rest of the RNC will have to be on standby for that, because I guess I'm the next one up.
I never been. Actually, I don't even know where you're gonna have your wedding, but I probably haven't been there, so I'm out.
Well, it's funny because like everybody said, like the reaction of me catching it or like grabbing it, I was just like, oh, what did I just do? And then like, because it was funny because like it was one of my best friend's wedding from like college, and she was like, "You're gonna catch it," and I'm like, "There's no way. Like, I'll just position myself where I don't do this," and I did it. So,
hey man, y'all heard it here first.
First RNC wedding, I guess. So NXT, we are going to jump into NXT first.
Yeah.
There were a lot of injuries on this show. Oh, man.
Yeah.
A lot of nose injuries. Jeez. Like, I almost called it, like, shoot NXT or shoot Wednesday, because, like, I was like, good Lord, like.
Yeah, for the NXT crowd, that shit getting very unsafe out there, or just like a lot of people are getting really hurt, and it's kind of it's kind of sad. Like,
yeah, especially going into like
obviously I never want. Yeah, especially also I just don't want anybody to get hurt. So like when I saw like Aliyah like get her nose broken, like oh she's a job or whatever, but it's just like like that doesn't mean I want like her to get her like. Her face broken. Like, that sucks.
So NXT, of course, they're building up. Well, they're in the unique predicament where they have to build up for War Games and also the invasion between Raw and SmackDown. And this episode definitely played on it. The overarching theme that happened during the night is that there was somebody attacking some of the female superstars. Tegan and Ray got laid out. Candice LeRae got laid out, and everybody was wondering, like, who's doing this? Like,
originally, when I saw it, I was just like, all right, this is like a rant. Like, this can't be like within NXT, and this can't just be within NXT, because like you get 3 faces getting hurt, and then you have 2 heels getting hurt. So I was just like, nah, like, Candace, I guess unconscious or like, getting laid out near Jessamine Duke and Maria Shafir. So like I was just like, all right, something's happening here. Like it had to be like an invasion of some sort.
Yeah, we also had a Scarlett Bordeaux sighting. Also, she was checking on Candace.
Okay, that was her because I saw people going crazy for her on Twitter, but I didn't recognize her in the moment.
Yep, she's in NXT. I don't know. I don't think she's going to be in one of the teams, but not yet. But yeah, everybody was getting beat up. Everybody was catching it, and we'll get to that like when we go to the end. But we started off with a really good Lio Rush Angel Garza match. Angel Garza, man, let me tell you something.
He's something.
That dude is great. I don't know if like they basically started off really fast, like with all these countering moves to start off, and then he went out into the crowd and removed his pants in front of it. I did a double take and I was like, yo, is that his wife? I'm like, yo, oh man.
When he went into the crowd, I was just like, all right, what is he doing here? And then, Mauro Ronaldo pointed out that was his wife and gave her like a shiesty look as he like took his pants off. And Lio Rush after this match having a very like, heated, very heelish promo. So that should be cool going forward.
Do you think he's going to turn heel anytime soon?
I would say yeah, depending on who his next challenger is going to be. Because if it's like Isaiah Swerve Scott, who's been getting pushed to the damn moon these past like 3 to 4 weeks, so like if it's Isaiah Swerve Scott, like I don't see Isaiah turning for Leo.
Yeah, I thought Leo gets the win here. I just thought like. That's kind of what makes the difference between NXT because they can have matches that start off the night like this. Like, I love when Leo kicked out of the wing clipper. Then like Garza tries to go for that like top rope
super wing clipper,
and then they have like the headbutt match. Man,
Leo, if he would have got off the top rope wing clipper, I think Lio Rush would have been severely hurt because there's like really no way to protect yourself.
There was that moonsault power slam they did, and then like I don't know, like I think that this played to their strengths. Like obviously, like Angel Garza is like the bigger guy, but like he showed off his speed, he showed off his quickness, and he played with Leo, like played into Leo's like. Style. I basically want to see this match again. Like I hope this is not the end between them, especially with Angel Garza's disrespect towards his wife.
If they were to keep the feud going, I think that would be great because a lot of the cruiserweight title feuds, just like just in the history of it, the longest feud that ever like happened for the title was Cedric Alexander and Enzo Amore.
Yeah.
So,
I
do think
the Enzo days, let's call it the ghetto 205 Live days.
And then, not a lot of people kind of like get like rematches. I think like the closest thing we probably got to it was Mustafa Ali and Buddy Murphy. So I think if they continue this feud and just like continue having great matches and just develop more and more chemistry, like that's going to be fantastic. Like if they have a match at War Games, like it's going to be off the wall.
So before we get into this Finn Balor promo, just wanted to mention that Johnny Gargano is indeed hurt. He does have a neck injury that's going to keep him out of War Games. I don't know if they really commented on the severity of it, but yeah. That's a big. It's a big loss.
If it's a neck injury, I'm automatically taking it super seriously. Just with people like Paige and Shit, I can't come up with another example.
Ciampa, Edge.
Oh yeah, Ciampa. Yeah.
Well, Ciampa's a freak. He came back in like 7 months. Like I don't know.
Yeah, he's a month. Yeah, Johnny gonna have to start blowing up his phone and just like, how'd you do it? But yeah, it really sucks for Johnny Gargano. I knew when he took that Bloody Sunday on the ramp, like that shit hurt. And then, I think just last week we only saw just the top of his head that was just super red. And I was just like, oh, CT records, all the jokes and stuff like that. But obviously he's still concerned for his health. But no, I'm kind of sad that he's being left out of War Games. Yeah,
because I think the Finn and Gargano match would bang, but maybe you could delay that until WrestleMania Takeover build. So they got to call an audible here. So Finn Balor.
Actually, no, I don't think he'll be ready before the Royal Rumble weekend.
Yeah, I think, like you said, with neck injuries, you kind of want to take that really serious, and you don't want to rush anybody back because that could exacerbate it. So, keep him out and then kind of build to that and get Finn some wins, and then, that's your Mania match right there if he could come back. So with injuries, creative has to call an audible here. So Finn is basically asking what happens to NXT, and he calls out Matt Riddle. And then they fight. Then Undisputed Era comes out, Ciampa comes out, and then Keith Lee follows. So basically, before we get into Roddy and Keith, the War Games match here, now it's going to be Finn Balor versus Matt Riddle. What are your thoughts on that? Because obviously, with Matt Riddle fighting Finn, that takes a man out of the Man War Games match.
Yeah. Sucks that Matt Riddle's out of War Games, but this is an amazing call. This is an amazing audible. I want to see this match, but actually, there's no but. I want to see this match, and I think since Matt Riddle is already, he's already took a couple losses in the past couple weeks. I think his last one was against Cameron Grimes, but before that he was taking some losses. So it is what it is. I don't see a problem with quote unquote feeding him to Finn. It's going to be an amazing match, and I think this is I think this will keep him healthy for the Survivor Series match.
Yeah,
you think he's going to be in the Survivor Series team?
See, that's tough because a lot of these guys are going to have to pull double duty. I know Adam Cole is going to have to, Undisputed Era has, and Adam Cole has the hairline fracture on his wrist, so I don't know how tough you want to push him. And of course, you're gonna have Ciampa do double duty too, I think, and maybe Keith Lee. Yeah, I think Matt Riddle, why not? You know what I mean? Why not have him there?
Mm-hmm. The NXT pulling double duty is insane. Hey, Johnny,
Johnny said, they got to pull that big boy schedule now. You know what I mean? Their main roster.
Yeah. Nah. All right, but 2 pay-per-views back to back, this is a little insane. But God bless NXT. If they, get some, if they if they lose some matches at Survivor Series, is this going to be well, they were pulling fucking double duty, or somebody gets hurt? I think this double duty thing is a little crazy. Also, I only see them winning the women's match at Survivor Series.
Ooh.
So
that
is the only match I see them winning.
Well, alluding to that, we're actually the War Report and the AHO are actually going to join Voltron next week, and we're going to do a massive, just to tease, we're going to do a massive Takeover and Survivor Series special where we kind of give our predictions.
Yeah.
So look forward to that.
This
next
is
week.
the first time we all came together since I think the 100th episode, right?
Yeah. So so we're like I said, like Voltron, or like if you like the Power Rangers or Megazord, like we're morphing together for that. So be on the lookout for that. Roderick Strong and Keith Lee, man, listen, Keith Lee, the past few weeks has been outstanding, and Roderick Strong is always going to be good for a really good match, and I think that they really worked the whole like Keith being super powerful, but like Roderick having to be crafty, and then holding off on like the big power moves of Roderick until the end. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I like how they did that and how they booked the match.
Yeah, Keith Lee these past couple weeks has been like the coolest guy. One of the coolest big men on their roster at this moment. Like, just the match series that he has with Dijakovic, the triple threat that Roderick Strong was a part of, the NXT invasion. The SmackDown invasion and the Raw invasion, and Keith Lee cutting a really good promo. Just a little, just a little bit good mic work on this night. I see him. He got to get that. He got to be in the title picture. I need Keith Lee with some gold.
To think that a year like prior to this, like he was looking for wins, he was losing a lot, and now he's just in the thick of things. Like, and I love how they are really showcasing him to be not only a big man but a really athletic big man. So like you look at him against a Roderick Strong, and this match was it was another amazing match. He's on a string of them, and same thing with Roddy. I think they made the right call here with Keith winning. I think he needed a big win. And, of course, you had the big brawl on the outside, Matt Riddle laying waste to Undisputed Era, and then Finn comes and
sends him to God.
That was a rough, the stair spot?
Real shooter. Real shooter, man.
It was Shooter Wednesday. It was Shooter. It was definitely Shooter Wednesday. I'm like, wow, man. It was like Matt, all right. But Finn, again, gets his comeuppance, but Keith gets the win. So, like I said, and I just wanted to segue into another guy that you actually talked about, whose star riseth, and that is Isaiah Swerve Scott. And he went against Bronson Reed, a guy that I really like.
Just to bring it back a little bit.
Okay.
During the brawl with Undisputed Era, replacing Matt Riddle will be Donovan Dijakovic.
Yeah, how did I forget that? So Dom comes down and he lays waste to everybody, and it looks like he was gonna fight Keith Lee because they had that rivalry, right? And then he turns around and he joins the team. So now that Matt Riddle is not on the team, now we're back to 3 guys. So we're waiting for a fourth. Before we get into the Swerve Scott match, who do you think is going to be the fourth?
Now that I thought, Donovan Dijakovic was going to be, the fourth man, I think it should be... Let it be Isaiah.
I'm going to pull a wild card here. I think it should be Damian Priest.
All right, I wanted to pull a wild card, but you put me on the spot, so I said Swerve Scott. But, yeah, Damian Priest would be good. Wait, no. He's definitely going to be in the triple threat that night.
Yeah, but, I'm like...
Survivor Series team, maybe.
True. I just think that, they're building Damian Priest up so much that, I'm like, you can't... He's got to be on... I think he has to be on a team. Swerve can also be he'd also be a great choice. If I went down to the two of them, I'm gonna go I think Swerve is like the safe pick, but I'll go with Damian Priest. I'm probably wrong, but I'll go with Damian Priest.
I usually go for the freak picks, but yeah. And honestly, just right now, I just don't see anybody else.
Yeah, because like you got Keith, you got Ciampa, and you got Dom, and you're like, oh man, Riddle would have been really good in that team. But then again, like they're pretty much, other than Ciampa, they are dwarfing Undisputed Era.
If I had to pick like if I had to take a wild card pick, we do need some
NXT UK representation. That would be,
I'm saying,
that'd be interesting.
That we got on Raw and SmackDown, even though it was one of those it was one of the UK tape shows.
Yeah, and if you watched NXT UK this week, apparently Tyler and Ono had an amazing match this week. So I gotta go back and watch it.
Gotta check it out.
But that's what I'm hearing. It would be cool. That'd be Tyler and like, I'm thinking back to like Worlds Collide. From basically for what we saw, like there's history between Tyler and Roderick Strong. So
true.
So they could play off that as well.
Oh, like also I don't. It's been a while since Cameron Grimes has made a TV appearance. I think it's been like 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit deaded. Get Tyler Bate in there.
So, like we were talking about, Isaiah Swerve Scott, his star doth riseth. He's going against Bronson Reed. It's another good showing for both men, even though Bronson Reed took the L here. Swerve, he's moving up. He is definitely on the rise. I'm not sure. Maybe he goes for that North American title against Roddy, later down the road. Maybe he goes for Leo Rush.
I think he had a title shot like 3 weeks ago.
He may have. I think so. You think?
Yeah, he definitely had him. He had a match against Roddy already.
Yeah. Do you think he goes against Leo? You think he's the next contender here?
I would save it, but yeah, definitely.
I mean, like you said, he could be that fourth. You know what I mean? Like, hey, next man up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even want to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll get into that next week. So, Pete Dunne and Killian Dane were supposed to have a match, and Killian Dane has.
Thank God that didn't happen.
Pete Dunne, Mr. Second Hour, he is back on the second hour this week. Get out of here on the first hour. So Killian Dane, who's been interfering in every goddamn match for the past 5 weeks, finally got the tables turned against him when Damian Priest attacked him, and then all three men brawl. Damian Priest did, call it the crucifix bomb or the razor's edge with the security guard into everybody, and he stands tall. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely looked really strong.
He looked really strong. Like I said, I'm really impressed with Damian Priest's reformation from Punishment Martinez from ROH. What did you think about the three-man brawl? I think that, like you said, this is probably going to be a takeover match. It's going to be against all three men. What do you think about the brawl here?
I had concerns about like where this feud was going. I thought, Cameron Grimes or Tyler Bate might get involved. Excuse me. And then, we might have like a tag team match or some stuff like that. But now it's fairly, like, to me, it's like fairly clear that this is just going to be a triple threat.
From there, the shooter night continues. we had a main event. Mia Yim versus Io Shirai, a ladder match. This is for the woman advantage at the War Games match. So I know some people have been down on Mia Yim. I think both ladies brought it here. Like there were some brutal spots. Like, Io Io getting suplexed on the ladder.
The missile drop kick to Mia's face.
Oh, listen, I didn't. Okay, so at the end of the match, I'm like looking, and I'm like, oh my god, like Mia is leaking. Mia's leaking bad.
Oh, you could have seen it during the match. Like, I think the black mat for the floor does them a real service. But if you look, like, just at that moment, it is just pouring from her face, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, is she gonna be able to finish the match? And you know what? She did. She did.
Yeah. And took another crazy spot like 2 minutes after.
Yeah, like it was like ECW Mia. Like she was like getting her like balls Mahoney on a little bit. And
yeah.
So she basically gets the advantage. She's going up top of the ladder. And out comes NXT UK's women's champion, Kaylee Ray, on another crazy spot, which sends Mia flying into ladders, which it looked like she missed a little bit. And if you look from the injury report today, not only did she injure her nose, it looks like she has some rib damage too.
Yeah, a possible rib fracture.
Yeah. Because she's holding, because like you see her like with the refs, like she's holding her ribs. I'm like, that's a crazy spot to take.
Especially after you just got your face, busted open. Right now, Mia Yim is on her she's reported to be day-to-day. I don't know what that really means. But just let her rest, please. No, like, War Games is happening very soon. And if they're getting hurt now, they're like, the pay-per-view is like gonna get super messed up. Like you can't calling a lot of audibles here. Like it's gonna look real shaky for them during Survivor Series if they're like getting like hurt now.
I mean, with the Io Shirai match, she does kind of work stiff a little bit, but both of these ladies did, and I'm like, yo, you got a War Games match soon, and I'm sure Io is going to do a moonsault off that damn cage. So, like, oh, wow. Like, they're going into it.
Can't wait for that. Io Shirai just has an amazing moonsault.
So, Kaylee Ray is the fourth participant in Shayna's match. There was this cool spot where Io's on top of the ladder, and Bianca's there, and Kaylee's there. And Shayna comes out and applauds them. And guess what? The attacker comes out. I know some people thought it was Kaylee Ray. I'm like, I don't think Kaylee Ray attacked everybody, attacked NXT. It was Bayley. It was evil Bayley. Bayley coming out.
SmackDown Women's Champion, local aunt Bayley.
Bayley smacked Shayna with the chair. I forgot what her move was called when she was Davina Rose.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Chris is gonna kill us.
I know Chris is gonna listen to this. Like, God damn it!
I think it's like Thorn, like something Thorn. He gonna body us. I hope you don't hear this.
Chris, we're sorry, man. She did that. I will definitely look it up before, but she did that.
Look it up right.
Yeah, actually, go ahead and look it up. So Bayley's been. I like that. Okay, so initially I thought it was Becky. I'm like, oh, Becky's here. She's laying people out. You know what I mean? But I like that they did the swerve here with Bayley because everybody's been like, if you've been listening to the A Show, everybody's been kind of focusing on Shayna and Becky. I'm like, hey, man, and Shayna's been attacking Bayley seemingly almost every damn week. But Bayley showed you on the main show and that NXT that she's not to be messed with, and
underestimated. I really, really don't like how Bayley's just like not really a factor in any of the SmackDown promotion or Survivor Series stuff. Like I think it took till the UK tapings for Bayley to be seen as an actual threat in that women's match.
Just to touch on it briefly, because the HO guys got it, but I think that it plays into the story with Bayley. You underestimate her, she wins Money in the Bank. You underestimate her, she wins the SmackDown Women's Championship. She loses it, she turns over a new leaf with this new attitude, and she wins the SmackDown title again. I think that she's going to be the dark horse in this match. Obviously, you're going to be looking for Shayna and Becky, but I think you got to keep an eye on Bayley, as you saw, because she took out damn near half of the NXT women's roster. How do you feel about
all of them?
How do you feel about the invasion angle so far on NXT? I like that it's a slow drip, that they're only doing either the OC or Bayley. It's not a full-fledged 15 people come to NXT.
So, yeah. I think I like it a lot that they're not having a big brawl. They're fighting Roman Reigns is there, Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, Ricochet, kind of the SmackDown Under Siege kind of thing, because I think a lot of people on the main roster are underestimating NXT a lot, so I guess they don't feel the need to do a full-on invasion. It's just they're developmental guys, we don't have to do all that kind of stuff. So I think, them coming kind of one by one, or do you just one faction and one wrestler words. I like it a lot. Also, it's the Rose Plant.
Right, it's the Rose Plant. Yeah. There you go, Chris. You hear that? It's the Rose Plant.
But yeah, I like the invasion a lot.
So overall thoughts before we move on to, because we got a lot of AEW stuff to get into. Overall thoughts on NXT. I think that I love it. I'm loving these shows because they are in full-fledged, not only great matches now, but they got angles to them. They got meat on the bone now.
Yes. A lot of stuff that we were kind of concerned about, at week 3, where they were just they were just having matches to have matches, and at the time, so was AEW. NXT has the best wrestling on Wednesday nights. I love the ladder match a lot. I think I turned into I'm a bit higher on Mia Yim than I was before. I hope she's okay. I'm not sure how I feel about Kaylee Ray.
Oh, I love Kaylee Ray.
I'm a big Ginny person, so I would have flipped over a table if she would have came out instead. Also, just where is Toni Storm?
I think she asked that about herself on Twitter. Unless Toni,
I would like to know.
Unless Toni's in another dimension trying to call to herself on some Matrix stuff. I'm also wondering, where is Toni Storm? I hope Mia is okay. I hope she's rested up, and she could heal before Takeover. I don't know. I don't know where Toni Storm is. Any listeners here, if you see Toni Storm or you have the whereabouts, tweet either I or Cyrus, and we'll talk about it on the show. we'll have Tony Watch or something like that, like the A-Show guys have Sasha Watch or something like
that. Let's see here. Toni Storm's last match was on October 27th.
Yeah,
I guess Millie McKenzie at OTT. Over the Top Rope Wrestling.
Not NXT UK. I don't think we have seen her since the Takeover when she lost Kaylee Ray.
Yeah, that is exactly right. Also, she barely wrestled for NXT UK prior to that match.
Yeah. So, like I said, because Tony's obviously a listener of the show. Tony, if you want to come back to NXT UK and put on some matches, we would definitely enjoy it. I think Kaylee needs Kaylee beat Zaya Brookside today or on the show. So Kaylee definitely needs a challenger. So maybe you want to get that title back. I don't know.
Please return. I miss you.
All right.
Call me back.
Wow. We're shooting our shots on the podcast. So
what is this for?
So AEW, we had our first pay-per-view, as we alluded to, AEW Full Gear. Some parts of it were in Full Gear, and some of it wasn't. Before we get into some overall themes,
card could get started for a lot of these matches.
Before we get into some themes, overall thoughts on the pay-per-view?
Matches went fairly. I think this is everybody's gripe. Like, matches went fairly too long. I like most of the match on the card. I just feel like a lot of these matches are like dark stuff. I'll say like I think I like 1, 2, 3 matches on the card.
Wow.
Well, 4 matches, which is most of the card. So, if I had to rate it out of 10, I'd probably give it like a 7.
Ooh, okay. I would probably give it a 7 out of 10 as well. That's my main gripe with AEW. Match length.
Like, the pacing is off.
Like,
that shouldn't be a thing.
I'll take like a match, for example. Santana Ortiz versus the Young Bucks was into that match. I'm like, this is great. Then it just ran on way too long. Like, I was with like I think Nick selling his leg, and but even some of that selling kind of went on too long. But it was a great match otherwise. And then, Santana and Ortiz get the win. But what I didn't get was what happened after the match.
Oh, wait. Before we get to that part, I think the match, when they went for the street sweeper and, they didn't get it, I think the match should have just went on for probably 3, 4 more minutes after that.
Oh, so you wanted to go on a little longer.
No, when they missed the street sweep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This match is 22 minutes long, and it's ridiculous.
And it's also the opening match of the pay-per-view. B. Priestley and the Britt Baker, they were on the... unfortunately, they were on the pre-show. Like, we had alluded to this previously on the weeks. This is their hottest women's feud, and they stuck it on the pre-show. And of course, they had an angle to go with it, but it was also on the pre-show.
And match was good.
It was good. It was actually Britt's best match.
Yeah. I was right. Since these two have chemistry with one another, with, just having match history, they're going to have a good match. I hope they keep this feud going just so, Britt Baker can get some more experience. And, she has a rival now. And, the angle is still hot. So, why not just keep it going? Don't, why would you fuck up a good thing? They're having a good match, and they, more or less, what we've seen, they hate each other. So there's, so much fire going on between these two. Keep that going.
Well, we'll get to what happened to that, right after. I want to go back to this damn tag team match and what happened at the end.
Yeah. Made no sense.
Why is... I understand that the Rock and Roll Express got attacked. Why, in a Santana and Ortiz win, are they getting the comeuppance on them? Who is that helping? Who is that helping? The Young Bucks? Are they alluding to Santana Ortiz versus the Rock and Roll Express? Which
already happened earlier this year. I don't know why you want to see it again. It was a good match, but just watch that match again.
Yeah, it's just don't press your luck, you know what I mean? So I'm especially what happened with AEW Dynamite this week. Why? I'm just why are you doing this? Why are you Am I expecting to see Rock and Roll Express to get into standing soon? Like, I don't know, you know?
This is, unfortunately, I'm just going to have to, say that this is very WCW. You have this team win, and then you have these old guys come and beat them up towards the end, and it doesn't really make much sense to me. And then they try to fix that mistake and rehab it with this super long brawl on Dynamite this week.
Yeah, so like on Dynamite, just to go into it, Santana Ortiz and Young Bucks basically fight throughout the back area. Then it spills into the ring. There's a random Orange Cassidy signing that the crowd popped for. I don't know how many times you're going to be able to do that. Like, I understand, like...
This joke is going to run stale soon. I love Orange Cassidy, but this joke is going to run its course.
So, they fight to the stage, and Santana Ortiz, they're beating... they beat them down with a sock full of baseballs. And then they powerbomb Matt Jackson through the stage, and they further work on Nick's knee. So I think we're going to see another match between these two teams soon. Tony Khan actually said in the presser that they are having quarterly pay-per-views. So we won't see another AEW pay-per-view until the first quarter. So maybe January, February. So that's a long build to that.
Yeah. Also, this long brawl between the Young Bucks and Pride and Powerful is, if you're watching on TNT, mainly through a commercial break. I was watching the show and I was just like, man, sure wish, since they do the picture-in-picture thing, I was just like, man, I really got to squint at my TV to see this brawl that is going for far too long. And towards the end, Private Party comes out, gives Santana a light shove, and now they have a match next week.
Oh, and also Morton hits the Destroyer and a suicide dive. So.
Oh yeah, during their pay-per-view.
And Ricky Morton.
Old dudes doing, the new hip thing. I wonder where I've seen that before. PCO. Where is that at now?
Apparently ROH in Purgatory.
Yeah.
PCO.
Come on now.
Well, yes. Just to know for the three people who are still watching ROH, PCO is going to have a title shot soon for Final Battle there. So we'll see. And that contract is coming up, so to go back, the rope in the aftermath of the Britt Baker Bea Priestley match. So we got, Brandy, these Viginettes. We actually see Awesome Kong come down here and lay waste to Bea Priestley, and she took a lock of her hair.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
She took a lock of her hair.
I don't like it, but I'm willing to see where it goes. And are they going to be building to the Aja Kong thing that they did during the summer? That's it.
Well, like on AEW Dynamite, Allie is doing an interview, and they're talking about how she's fourth in the standings and she's rising up. And the same thing happens. Like, Awesome Kong comes down, attacks her, takes a lock of her hair.
With a slow-ass back fist.
So what I think they're doing is they're building up Awesome Kong to basically lay waste to every, I guess, lady in the standings, whoever is basically rising up. So she'll attack, I don't know who's third, maybe Hikaru Shida next week. And then maybe.
Oh no! Don't feed her the Kong, bro.
Then she'll maybe attack Britt, and then maybe she'll be the next contender for Riho. That's what I think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what they're doing. I don't know if they're building a voodoo doll out of all this hair.
Well, I'm going to stick to the standings. And Awesome Kong needs to get in the back of the line and win some matches.
Well, okay, so let's jump to the women's championship match that happened on Full Gear. Speaking of standings, Emi Sakura was 1-0. So she had one singles match, which was a 4-way, and that got her a women's championship match. Before we get into this, a lot of people were raising hell that day for them not doing enough to build up this Riho and Emi Sakura. Emi was basically tweeting her own creative. She was telling everybody the background story between her and Riho. And then all of a sudden, Kenny Omega tweets out
just
stats,
a
spreadsheet of stuff
saying Riho and Emi Sakura has had 230 something matches before this match right here, and you should be excited for that. I guess.
And then collectively, everybody was like, "Oh, that's great. It'd be nice if this was on the show, though." You know what I mean?
Yep.
Nice spreadsheet. Maybe you could show it on the show next time.
People that are giving hell to AEW for, making Riho an afterthought in this women's division when she's the women's champion, keep it up. They are doing these women a large disservice, and I guess we'll go more into that when we talk about this week's episode of Dynamite that only features one women's match that is a squash match, and every other women's appearance is a valet or that weird segment with Aja Kong.
Oh boy. So I thought the Rio and Emi match was great. So Rio and Emi were basically building up the student versus teacher match. It was weird because JR immediately went to speed and power. He went into that. Emi was the bigger.
That's all he knows.
She's the bigger wrestler. I'm like, okay, wow, you're undoing basically all these tweets and all of this work that Emi was trying to do in building this match. I thought that it was a really good match. It was an emotional match too because Emi started crying before the match happened. So this meant a lot to her, and Rio picks up the win. I was
impressed. It meant a lot to AEW.
Yeah, I agree there. You know what? Let's just segue into what happened in AEW Dynamite this week. Like you said, they've been on the Nyla Rose Reformation Project. If you've been watching AEW Dark, she's gone against Leva Bates, and she's been in a tag match where she's been featured. She goes against Danny Jordan, and there's people in the crowd who were chanting for Danny Jordan, and it's basically
that's cool.
I mean, good for her. She's on TV, but she gets squashed.
Yeah,
and Nyla picks up the win, and I'm like,
and then I was just like, oh, okay. And then the Aja Kong comes out and cuts Ali's hair. I was just like, man, sure wish I was just like, I guess they only mentioned Riho once on this on the show on commentary. JR just talks about how Nyla Rose has problems beating smaller opponents, kind of like the Brock Lesnar situation. And guess who's small?
Riho. So
that's all JR knows, baby.
JR knows. He knows sizes. He's not going to know that's what Excalibur's there for. He knows that the meat and the guts of stuff. Adam Hangman Page and Pac had a match. I thought it was on Full Gear and AEW Dynamite. They had a rubber match on Dynamite.
Both equally as boring.
You thought so? I thought it was okay. So I thought both of these matches were solid, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, I'm ready for this feud to be over. I'm ready for Pac and Hangman Page to kind of do something else. I've seen them wrestle too much in such a short time span.
the first match didn't do it for me. I'll take that back. I thought the first match that they had was okay. Pac wins with the low blow, and I was just like, oh, that kind of sucks. And then Pac has this amazing match with Kenny, and then weeks go on by, and then Adam Page is just like, I want a rematch. This feud just being pasted together as we go, and then they just have like a whatever match. I don't think these dudes have like a lot of chemistry with each other, and I think I think this is like the complete opposite of how I feel about the Britt Baker and Bea Priestley situation. I think these dudes should stop having matches and get away from each other. When I think the two women should keep having matches and just keep that feud going.
Yeah, I think their Dynamite match had a lot of callbacks to their first two matches. I thought it was the right thing to have Pac go over there, like have him be like the
of course
heel
and get his win back.
Yeah, and then well, it's funny because like a lot of people complain about like WWE with 50-50 booking, and hey, what do you know? They did it here,
They'll never keep that same energy.
So I agree. You got to keep these men far, far, far away from each other now. The best of three is ended, and Pac is the win. Now find somebody else, a dancing partner from Hangman Page, and build him up as a face somewhere else. And then have Pac,
Also, did no cowboy shit at Full Gear. Very disappointed. I would have expected a revolver to come out or like a lasso or something.
Oh, you were ready for like Red Dead.
I was waiting for some Red Dead shit to go on.
Cowboy shit
without the tuberculosis.
Cowboy shit didn't happen in Dynamite either.
That cowboy shit made no sense to me, but it looked good on a shirt.
So, I have to talk about the friend of the War Report here, Sean Spears.
Oh, friend of the A Show network in general.
He's friend of the A Show network. Our friend Sean Spears. He goes against Joey Janela. I'm going to let you talk about this match first.
I don't want to. You talk about it.
Okay.
This match was boring.
It's for me. It wasn't that it was okay. Maybe it was a little boring. And the fact that they only built this up for maybe a couple days. Like I'm like. How can I get invested in like these two hating each other when I literally just saw a clip of like Sean Spears just beating Joey Janela up and like okay they have a match. Joey is okay that hair spot that Joey did where he ripped out a chunk of his hair. I was like, why, dude? Why?
Yeah, unless you like plan on cutting like your hair, like I don't, I was just like that spot was like a little weird, heel stuff to be heel stuff, but I was just like, I think you can do. I've seen better heel work.
So like that happens, and I think Joey Janela almost gets hurt here because they do a spike pile driver with Tully
with the Tully assist.
With the Tully assist,
they do a Meltzer driver.
Yeah, and then Sean Spears gets the win. If you want to build him up as a heel, I mean, I'm okay with him getting the win here. I'm not really sure.
I don't know what this does for Joey. And they're continuing this feud.
Yes.
Joey on Dark, sprints after Sean Spears when he's in a triple threat match, and.
Well, what
Sean Spears didn't really care about his win, bro.
Well, it wasn't it was on the main show. They had Sean Spears, Darby Allin, and Peter Avalon, everybody's favorite gimmick, the Librarian. This was basically a match to basically showcase Darby Allin, I think. Sean Spears completely disregards
why they even have Sean Spears there.
Yeah, he completely disregards it because he gets attacked by Joey Janela, so they're going to continue this feud. And Darby Allin does his coffin drop and beats Peter Avalon, like we said. why is this librarian thing still going? I guess he's gonna be their jobber. We'll get to what goes after in a little bit with Darby. I wanted to talk about what do you think about the AEW Tag Team Championship match between SCU Private Party and Lucha Brothers?
I would love to watch this match in a highlight form, because this is an amazing spot fest. No disrespect, all these teams are fantastic, but just seeing all all the crazy high spots that they do and stuff is really what I was in this match for.
Yeah,
it was cool shit.
Yeah, I mean, they showcased Private Party. Like I said, I don't think that you give them the titles yet. I think it would have been the wrong call for SCU to win these titles and then lose them. It would be like some New Japan thing where they play a lot of ping pong with their tag team titles.
Yeah.
And their six-man tag titles as well. I think it was the right call for SCU to win. Of course, there was this after thing with Christopher Daniels running off the Lucha Brothers and dressed like Pentagon. Maybe Christopher Daniels, I guess, has a feud with Pentagon. Then I'm like, what are you going to do with Phoenix? I don't. This is the second time that AEW has done the wrestler dress up as Pentagon Jr. Yeah. Stop. I know which one is which, and it never leaves me when they do it never makes me wonder. You're like, oh my god, who could it be? If you're gonna come in dressed up as Pentagon Jr. and then you do the code breaker, oh fuck, it's Jericho. Yeah. Come on, and it's just Pentagon shows up this time. I wonder who it could be. Maybe the dude that Pentagon put on the sidelines for the whole tag tournament. It's never a good mystery of who is it whenever they do it. So just stop. Yeah, dress up. I don't know. Jericho does a lot. Jericho does a lot this in New Japan. He dresses up as he had a Bushi mask on. He dresses up as a lot.
Why didn't he just come from the crowd or something? Just have them do a brawl or something, and then they come from the crowd.
I feel like they've done that a lot too.
The entrance ramp. Oh yeah, they do. This is the problem. They don't do shit sparingly.
Yeah, they're all right, we're gonna do this a lot, and you're gonna like it, and we're gonna keep doing it. You know what I mean? So yeah. All right, so let's get into the main programs here for both AEW Full Gear and Dynamite. AEW World Championship match: Chris Jericho versus Cody. Remember, Cody loses this match, he can't challenge for the AEW Championship again. There's going to be a damn loophole down the road where he's going to. Arn Anderson, Dean Malenko, and Great Muta are the judges. You called it. You said that Great Muta was going to be one of them. Turns out they were just for show, and the horror movie of them going 60 minutes was just that. It was a nightmare. So MJF was in Cody's corner, and Jake Hager was in Jericho's corner. I think this was a better match than I thought it was going to be. I thought that.
Absolutely.
I thought this was Cody's best AEW match. I mean, I know some people are going to say Dustin, but I think that was more geared towards the emotion to that match. But I think this was a real good match. Jericho, you know what I mean? Listen, I've given Jericho shit. I've given him a lot of shit. But he's their top heel. He's their top star right now. Yeah. And he's really owning this brawler Jericho too.
I don't see who else the title can be on. Right now they have nobody I want to see with the title right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking, and I was thinking about this down the road. I think Mox is probably going to be the guy that they're going to do face as they build him up. But right now, Jericho not only is he owning it, he knows it too. You could tell he knows it.
Yeah.
So, the big angle that happens at the end, it alludes to the Bret Hart and Bob Backlund match that happened. Like, that's what I immediately thought in Survivor Series when Owen throws the title. I mean, the towel.
Yeah.
So, Cody escapes the Lion Tamer, and then Jericho puts him in it again. And then MJF throws the towel. We were like, But here's the thing, though. We all knew that this heel turn was coming. Like, we knew it.
It is the most obvious heel turn ever. Like, literally since before Dynamite was a thing, it was just like Cody aligned himself with MJF. MJF is going to turn. I think if they would have held off on the turn, it probably would have probably did him more of like a service, and maybe, down the line MJF gets a title shot, and then, maybe Cody does something bad to MJF, or just like the tipping point is just like enough to be like being in Cody's shadow. The thing is, to me, even at the end of the match, they prolonged it even. They tried to prolong it even more, and I'm like, dude, I already know what's going to happen. Like, he's 2-3 minutes of, I'm so sorry, man. Please forgive me. Blah blah blah. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like, all right, cut the shit, man. And the fact that MJF did a low blow instead of doing, probably like a wrestling move, I'm just like, wow, that's dumb.
So the crowd loved it to the point where I think this guy was a plant, because he's wearing an AEW shirt. He throws a beer at MJF, and it hits his scarf. So, I hope that he washed it. You know what I mean?
No, he did not.
So, going fast forward a little bit, Chris Jericho has a promo. He still wants his thank you. And then MJF comes out to Cody's music, because everybody thinks that Cody's going to come out. I thought that was good. They have this banter back and forth, which I thought was pretty fun. Like, they stayed heels.
I thought MJF's promo before interacting with Jericho is probably some of the best stuff I've heard in AEW yet.
Well, he's not calling everybody.
And then he started talking.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, this was like something that was personal to him, and it was just like, he was talking that talk. Like, I really enjoyed it a lot, and then all of that kind of just went away as soon as he started interacting with Jericho, and you might have loved it, but it's just the Kevin Owens and Jericho thing again.
Yeah, they played in on the whole them saying Cody Rhodes at the same time, where
somebody did a video of it, and I was just like, just like a video comparison of it, and I was just like, oh yeah, same shit.
Jericho doing that whole thing. So
WWE has the bad creative, bro.
Yeah, they even mentioned Juventud too, which got the Hoovy plant. So of course Cody comes down. He's not cleared, because if you look at his eye, this guy has a crazy gash. So he comes down. They botched the hell out of that power slam spot. First.
Cody should have not been out there trying to do stuff. Like, he's clearly hurt.
So
hurting.
Yeah, he attacks them. They get it on the second try, and then all of a sudden, I think they teased this guy once, but Wardlow comes out and he aligns himself with MJF, and they both beat the hell out of Cody. They even hang him by his tie, or by their tie. So MJF and Wardlow, there you go. That was his debut. He's we'll see.
I forgot Wardlow was even debuting.
They teased him once
because they stopped playing. Yeah, they teased him on the first episode of Dynamite, and I never saw another video package again. So when he came out, I was just like, who the hell is this guy? It's cool. Also, something that we kind of just missed. It was just like, that article came out saying that Jericho wanted MJF to be part of the Inner Circle, and then they do the back and forth, and it was just like, do you want to join Inner Circle?
Do you want me to join?
Do you want me in Inner Circle? Do you want to be in it? Do you want me there? Like, just the most annoying back and forth that really brought, MJF's stock down after I was just so high on him at that moment. And also, like, there's no answer to the question. Is he gonna join Inner Circle? Is him and Warlow gonna be their own thing? Unsure.
Okay, so here's the thing with that. I think that they intentionally left that open-ended, and I like that because it's like a loose alliance. You can't have first of all, you can't have MJF join the damn Inner Circle because it becomes
I don't want him to join.
Well, it becomes the NWO at that point. Like, remember when the NWO?
I thought the same thing.
Remember when NWO had Hall, Nash,
Buff Bagwell,
Hall, Nash, and Hogan, and then they had Six and Cool, and then Rick Rude, and then Ted DiBiase. But then all of a sudden, like IRS or Michael Wall Street joins, or Vincent joins, and then like Stevie Ray, like, you know what I mean? Like, it just got ridiculous at some point. Like, you don't want the Inner Circle to be that,
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm kind of glad that he didn't join Inner Circle, or that it wasn't finalized. I just don't like that they kind of harped on that point, and them unifying under their hatred of Cody is just I don't think Jericho doesn't really have to worry about Cody anymore since he can't challenge for the title. So I don't think they should have really unified over that.
Okay.
I think Jericho should have just gave him his props. It was just hey, thanks for not letting me go 60, or doing Cody a favor because he's a bitch or something, something else, and then kind of set up another title contention or something. But I will say I was high on that MJF promo. I'm not going to shit on everything AEW.
Well, Jericho does have he's got some problems because they had the SCU with Jericho and Sammy Guevara match. Guevara took a lot of offense from SCU at first, and then of course Jericho beats on Kazarian. Scorpio got a hot tag, and the crowd did not react to it.
Which is I'm confused.
It was
when he hot tagged and the crowd didn't roar, I was just what is going on?
It was the coldest hot tag ever. I was just yeah. I'm oh wow, okay. So they had this weird thing where it looked like Jericho almost missed the code breaker. And then they had this whole back and forth, and then Scorpio rolls him up and gets the win. So I'm
what's funny is that I'm looking at the clock and it's literally 10, and I'm just why is this match still on? And then Scorpio Sky applies the cradle. I'm not a huge fan of the cradle because I want him to have a strong win. I want to see him pin somebody for the 3 after a finisher.
It was producers go home, go home, go home. You know what I mean? It was
that's what. And even when they do have a match that's on the middle of the show, they Scorpio Sky does the cradle. Nah.
So he wins.
That don't do it for me.
If you were watching it on Fight TV, Jericho has this huge ass tantrum to end the show. But if you were watching it on TNT, they abruptly cut and went to a show. So
yeah. I saw a little bit of his breakdown, and I saw a video earlier today. It was it was a tribute, or just Jericho reacting to a loss back in WCW. And I was just oh, that's cool. But nah, I want Scorpio Sky to get a strong definitive win. Also, this being Jericho's first loss, the fuck?
It's okay. It's not a singles loss. He's still undefeated in that. It's a tag loss.
Yeah. So is Scorpio Sky gonna get a championship match or no? Because the wins and losses way differently in tag and singles matches.
Now, if you go off of that, they do weigh differently. So so it doesn't like you can get a win in a tag, but it doesn't really translate to a single. Where like Jericho is either 5-0 or 6-0 some shit.
Where's my consistency?
They still got to figure out this like standings thing. To round everything out, we got to talk about the unsanctioned Lights Out match, Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega.
How'd you feel about it?
Okay, so a lot of people did not like this match. Talked to my friend. I talked to my friend about that. She's like, "This is super excessive." They turned her off. To be honest, I did not mind it. I didn't mind it. What I didn't like was that it went on and on and on forever. So like when you did things like bring out the huge ass barbed wire like fencing thing and do a suplex in it, I'm like, wow, man, like I've already seen, them putting glass through each other. I've already seen like Kenny get thrown through mouse traps. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was like building. And then to go even fucking crazier with like, shout out to Ciampa and Gargano, their second match. They undo the ring, and Kenny does a Phoenix Splash. I'm like, oh my god, he broke his face. Like, and then they do more spots to it, and then Mox gets the win. Like I said, I was okay with it. Like, I'm okay with all like the brutality of the match, as long as they don't do this a lot. Like, if they don't do this match for a very, 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 very long time, and for what I've read, Kenny asked for this. Kenny asked for this, and Tony Khan basically said, like, we're not doing this like over and over again. Like, I'm actually okay with it. I'm actually fine with it. So, Mr. Deathmatch himself, I'm wondering, like, what did you think of it?
If you know me, I like deathmatch wrestling. You can listen to the first episode of Spot Callers where we review some death matches. I think Big Japan Pro Wrestling, Death Vegas 2018. It was a really great show. As I liked the violence, I guess. Like, it didn't bother me at all. Like, the match was built of what it was supposed to be. It's not a hardcore match. This is a death match. So, when I saw Kenny Omega actually doing, like the barbed wire bed spot, I was just like, holy shit. Like, Kenny Omega did not hold back, and he was kind of like true to his word and being like, this deathmatch guy.
Dude, he was raking.
And I said before,
he was raking. Moxley with a barbed wire broom.
Loved it. Finally using the barbed wire broom, and I cackled in the way he used it. I said like a couple weeks ago, I think, like, I'm looking forward to seeing Deathmatch Kenny, or, just Hardcore Kenny. And I was very impressed here. Like, this match, I have it pulled up on Cage Match. Shout out to them. This match went 38 minutes and 46 seconds long. Now, this is where my problem starts. I think they could have just went spot to spot much faster.
Yeah.
If you're doing a death match, I don't think really. Come on, nobody wants to see you guys wrestle. like Kenny Omega said in that promo, what are you gonna do? Chain wrestle me? No, nobody wants to see you guys chain wrestle. So I think this match could have been cut down, like probably like 8 to 10 minutes, and it would have like kept its integrity. Just like in hype and all that. Some things I'm not okay with as, a fan of some deathmatch wrestling. I would like to see some light tubes. I would like to see the glass.
I think Joe.
I want to see more barbed wire.
I think you're going to see that like more so with Joey Janela and maybe Jimmy Havoc, other than like Kenny. You know what I mean? Like I
think we're going to see it from Jimmy Havoc probably before we see it from Joey Janela again, since, you know, Joey Janela's doing his, like, wrestling redemption by, you know, doing his British Bulldog thing. But nah, I liked it. I liked the match a lot. I think the Phoenix Splash on you know, the exposed boards of the ring, I wasn't too big of a fan of that. That's not hardcore.
I don't know. It was hardcore to Kenny's face, apparently.
Oh yeah, huge black eye. Yeah, that shit looked real bad. Nah, I think at that moment, probably if Kenny Omega would have did missed his Phoenix Splash onto a glass slab, I would have gave this match 5 stars.
People were
that probably would have probably would have been like top 5 matches. Like let's bring it back, like top 15 matches of this year.
People are already like, oh man, like this is too much. Like imagine if they did that. Like that would be, oh my god.
Oh yeah, that would have went insane. Also, like people that were just like, man, this match is too violent. Come on, like lights out means death match. Like, come on, guys. Let's not be ridiculous here. I liked it. I completely understand if people were just like, I don't like this match because they're, you know, death match is kind of like a super niche. Yeah, but like if
it definitely caters.
But if you're just like this,
it definitely caters to one. Like it definitely caters to one like niche, you know, subset of fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so I can understand if you're just like, I don't like the match because I'm not a fan of deathmatch. That's fine. But if you're watching a death match and then you're saying it's too violent, now you look silly.
Because that's basically what they were building up this feud to, like the apex of it. Like these guys were gonna kill each other, and that's basically what they did.
And one of my favorite things about this match is just like watching Renee Young's like Twitter account, and she's just like, "Wow, I hate this."
Yeah, like it's like Christmas is a good palate cleanser. God bless her, because there's a lot of violence in that match. So AEW Dynamite, they play into like Kenny. Obviously, he's not cleared, and he asks about how about Moxley? Like Moxley's fine. You know, he's like, oh
yeah, no. Not a scar on Moxley's body, but Kenny Omega, big black eye, and a deep gash on his like back. He's deathmatch now. Now he's gonna get all the deep scars and shit like that.
So Moxley comes out and it basically beats up Kenny Omega's best friend there, Michael Nakazawa, and Squash. I like what he said. He's like, that counts as one win, right? Like that actually counts.
Yeah, that was funny. I like that.
So like, he said that he respected Kenny a lot, and then he basically called out anybody and alluded to what we were saying yesterday. Somebody accepted, and that is Darby Allin. Him and Moxley will be fighting next week on AEW Dynamite. I think Darby Allin could have probably just came out, you know, did like his entrance and all that. I don't feel like, you know, Darby had to have a match and be like, I accept. Like the people already love Darby Allin and already know what he's capable of. So I don't really think they needed him to, you know, beat up Peter Avalon and, you know, basically give Shawn Spears a needed loss. He probably should have just came out in that moment, and it probably could have just been like Joey Janela versus Peter Avalon, and Shawn Spears versus Peter Avalon, and Joey Janela comes out. Ooh, that would have been
the match gets cut short because Joey Janela comes out.
All right, you saved
and he gets like a disqualification or something.
Okay, you saved it because I'm like, ooh,
let me just pull that back.
That's a big ratings get there. So also next week, this will have a Dynamite Dozen Battle Royal. So 12 men will compete. The last 2 left standing will face each other in a singles match on the Thanksgiving Eve show, with the winner getting the Dynamite Diamond Ring. So they're not introducing a mid-card title anytime soon, I don't think. So
I think this is like the greatest Royal Rumble belt Like, this shit doesn't really mean anything.
So I'm like, okay, so like, is somebody winning? Are they gonna be like kiss the ring? You know what I mean? Like,
definitely, if they're gonna get a ring, I definitely think whoever wins that should definitely flex it. I'm not. Are we sure who's gonna be in the match so we can make some predictions of who might win?
They did not announce who was gonna be yet.
Oh, okay. If it's gonna, I'm gonna just fuck it. I don't even need to see anybody. I want Brandon Cutler to win it.
All right. Wow, Brandon.
Hold me to that.
Okay, so you got Brandon Cutler. I am going to go with. I'm gonna go with Luchasaurus.
Oh.
I'm gonna go with Luchasaurus. They did have a match this week. Jungle Boy, Marco Stunt versus Dark Order. Marco Stunt, my man.
Stink. That match sucked.
He got Luchasaurus came out. That was the big thing.
Yeah, that like they had that really boring ass match to get that pop when Luchasaurus comes back, and I thought it was pretty cool.
Dark Order picked up the win. Marco Stunt, he got it. He got his ass beat. I think that's going to be the theme with him.
Yeah, and Dark Order cuts a promo.
Yeah, and they tried to offer Marco Stunt to be one of the Dark Order.
Yeah, I don't think Marco Stunt has has enough mass or strength to be the cushion in that weird chair.
Yeah,
he'd probably be like an armrest or something.
Yeah, like what is going on here? I'm like, there's no way he's going to be able to hold somebody up.
Yeah. Also, like, what's his name is like Evil Uno, right? Didn't expect him to sound like that.
Same here. I'm like, oh.
Thought his voice. I thought his voice might be a little deeper. I think he might need to get one of those like Darth Vader things, really sell it.
So he's basically like, a little Evil Uno or par Evil Uno or like sometimes Evil Uno.
Well, it is what it is.
So before we get out of here, we're going to touch on ratings real fast. So we did expect that AEW was going to have an increase with the pay-per-view. They did 957,000 this week, and NXT did 750,000 this week. Not a big drop for NXT, and smaller increase for AEW. I think everybody had a good week this week. Like,
yeah,
that's it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would.
The Wednesday Night War is still going on, guys.
Yeah, like, did you?
Is it?
Last question.
We still doing this?
Did you think that AEW was gonna? Did it surprise you that they were going to they were under 1 million this week with Full Gear?
Yeah. Yeah, not a big increase after the pay-per-view. It like, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of like crazy to see like NXT numbers, be like, kind of low and then like drastically shoot up after the invasion. But like, right now I'm just really focused on the quality of the shows, man.
All right, that does it for our show. Like we said, next week we're in the A show and the War Report are going to come together because we got to do our predictions, right? We got to do takeover predictions. Yeah. Hopefully we know who's going to be the fourth man now that we lost a dude. And we're going to do Survivor Series predictions because that's also SmackDown, Raw, and NXT.
Love Survivor Series. I love Survivor Series.
This is a crazy Survivor Series this year, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and I hope they don't make the NXT people like do War Games next year. So they're not pulling like a crazy double duty like this year.
Please don't bury them either. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, we'll save it for the A show, but NXT need to pick up some wins.
Yes, please. As always, you can follow us at RNC Radio Live on Twitter. We got a new show. We have the Big Eyes Podcast.
Everything anime.
Like I said, on the network, we have something for everybody. We have a new
the list grows.
We have a new RSBN. We have a new Random Acts of Podcast Gaming because Luigi's Mansion came out. Of course, Death Stranding. Of course, we have a new A show. CM Punk is back.
Big shock.
I mean, depending on who you ask, like people will be like, "Well, he signed to Fox. He's doing WWE stuff."
It doesn't matter. CM Punk is back and he's talking about wrestling, and let's start the counter of when he returns in ring. This is a really cool get. What else came out on this week? We have the challenge. It's a challenge with Maggie and Meals. We already said RSPN.
Mount Silver podcast.
I think Mount Silver with
new
Pokemon coming out. Sword and Shield coming out right now.
Yeah, actually right now. Yeah, we actually tweeted a picture of it, where people holding it in their hands. So
yeah. I was just like, it's not even midnight yet.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, this is advanced. Yeah, so feel free to check this out. Next week is a big week. For our show, we're gearing up for our first takeover. You know what I mean?
It's going to be so much fun.
All right, so for myself, Murjani Rawls, and my man Cyrus, coming back next week.